In today's episode of Coins Numismatic Series, we're taking a deep dive into the top 2 Lincoln penny 1-cent coins that are 1963 Lincoln penny 1-cent coin with mint mark D and fine condition. The 1963 Lincoln penny with the Denver mint mark is a fascinating piece of American numismatic history. Although it's easy to overlook this coin due to its relatively high mintage, its place in the Lincoln cent series and the features it carries make it well worth examining. Let's start by considering the historical context. The early 1960s were a time of major transition in America. From civil rights movements to space exploration, the United States was on the verge of great change. Against this backdrop, the U.S. Mint continued to produce the Lincoln cent, a coin that had been in circulation since 1909 and featured the iconic portrait of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner. By 1963, the coin had already become a staple in American commerce and a favorite among collectors. The Denver Mint struck over 1.7 billion Lincoln cents in 1963, to be exact, 1,770,020,000 coins. This massive mintage makes the 1963 penny relatively common when compared to other rarer Lincoln cents. However, don't let the high mintage fool you into thinking it's valueless. Many of these coins have long since disappeared from circulation due to wear, melting, or simply being tucked away in jars and drawers. And what truly elevates a 1963 penny in terms of value is its condition, particularly if it remains in fine or better condition today. In fine condition, a 1963 Lincoln penny typically features moderately worn surfaces. The high points of the design, like Lincoln's cheekbone and jaw, will show wear, but the major details remain visible. You'll still be able to distinguish Lincoln's coat. The lines of the wheat stalks on the reverse, or rather, in this case, the Lincoln Memorial, since this coin features the post-1959 Memorial reverse, and of course, the crucial de mint mark, located below the date on the obverse. The design of the 1963 Lincoln penny is classic and meaningful. On the obverse, you see Abraham Lincoln in profile, facing right. Above him is the inscription, "In God We Trust," with liberty to his left and the date 1963, and the D mint mark to his right, the reverse. Redesigned in 1959 to honor the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth, features the Lincoln Memorial. This design was created by Frank Gasparo and replaced the original wheat ears that had adorned the coin's reverse since 1909. Gasparo's depiction of the memorial is finely detailed. In uncirculated coins, you can even see the statue of Lincoln seated between the columns. While fine condition coins may not retain all of these details, enough remains to capture the artistry and significance of the design. As for the metal composition, the 1963 penny was struck in 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc. This composition remained standard for Lincoln cents until the major composition change in 1982, when the mint switched to a predominantly zinc core due to rising copper prices. Market value for the 1963 Lincoln penny in fine condition is generally modest, hovering around a few cents to perhaps $1 for well-preserved examples. However, certain factors can increase this value significantly. One major factor is error coins. The 1963 series has produced a number of notable die varieties and errors that pique collector interest. For example, there are known double die obverse varieties where the lettering, particularly Liberty, and the date appear slightly doubled due to a misalignment during the die hubbing process. These double die varieties can increase the coin's value considerably, with some fetching tens or even hundreds of dollars, depending on severity and condition. Another interesting aspect of 1963 pennies is the occasional off-center strike or clipped planchette. These errors are more than just mistakes. They're considered fascinating anomalies that offer a glimpse into the coin production process. When authenticated by grading services like PCGS or NGC, such errors can greatly elevate a coin's desirability and market price. For collectors, the 1963 Lincoln penny is often pursued as part of a complete Lincoln cent set. While it may not be as rare or expensive as early 20th century issues, its place in a full series from 1909 to present is essential. Collectors interested in building date and mint mark sets will seek out well-struck and well-preserved examples of each year and mint location, including the 1963. This demand keeps the coin relevant in the hobby. even decades after it was struck. In terms of historical significance, the 1963D penny is also notable for being one of the last coins issued before the tragic assassination of President John F. Kennedy later that year. This momentous event in American history adds a layer of poignancy to any coin from that time, even if it isn't directly connected. In summary, the 1963D Lincoln penny is a cornerstone of mid-20th century American coinage. Its design reflects a respect for history, its errors provide collecting intrigue, and its widespread mintage makes it accessible while still offering challenge and excitement for collectors seeking quality examples. Whether you're new to numismatics or a seasoned expert, the 1963D penny deserves a close look. 1970 to Lincoln penny 1-cent coin with mint mark D and fine condition. Now let's turn our attention to the 1970 to Lincoln penny with the Denver mint mark, another remarkable coin with a rich story, fascinating features, and strong collector appeal. While it might seem like just another Lincoln memorial cent, this coin has more than a few surprises up its sleeve. It's a product of its time, and like its 1963D counterpart, it offers great insight into the era in which it was struck. To begin with the historical backdrop, 1972 was a year of upheaval and transformation in the United States. The Vietnam War was still ongoing, President Richard Nixon was seeking re-election, and the nation was facing political tension and social change. Amid this, the U.S. Mint continued its duty of producing coins for commerce, and the Lincoln cent remained one of the most widely used denominations in circulation. The Denver Mint struck $2,665,071,200 Lincoln cents in 1972, a colossal figure that makes it one of the highest mintage coins in the Lincoln series. This sheer number may make the 1970D penny seem common at first glance, but as always, the devil is in the details. Collectors aren't just looking for any coin, they're looking for coins with clean strikes, minimal wear, and potentially unique features that set them apart. The design remains consistent with other Lincoln cents from 1959 onward. On the obverse, Abraham Lincoln's dignified profile remains the central element, flanked by "In God We Trust" above, "Liberty" to the left, and the date 1972, and the D mint mark to the right. On the reverse, Frank Gasparo's Lincoln Memorial design stands firm, a tribute to one of America's most revered presidents. While the memorial is simplified in lower-grade coins, its iconic columns and engraved detail are still discernible in fine-condition examples. Like the 1963D, the 197D Lincoln cent is composed of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc. This makes it more valuable than later copper-plated zinc cents, even in melt value. Copper coins from this era hold some intrinsic worth. Although melting pennies is illegal in the U.S., the presence of copper makes them appealing to hoarders and collectors alike. In fine condition, the 1970D penny retains enough of its detail to identify all the major design elements, even though there may be visible wear on Lincoln's hair, jawline, and coat. The reverse still shows the memorial structure clearly, though finer details like the Lincoln statue and inner stairs may be faint. When it comes to market value, a 1970D Lincoln penny in fine condition typically trades for a modest premium, maybe a few cents over face value. But again, condition is key. Collectors looking for higher grades will pay more for sharply struck coins with full details, original luster, and no corrosion or damage. Now here's where things get really interesting. The 1970D penny is associated with one of the most famous error types in modern numismatics, the doubled die obverse. While the most dramatic versions of this error are typically found in the 1970 to Philadelphia issue, there are lesser-known doubled die varieties in Denver mint coins as well. These errors occur when the coin die itself is engraved twice slightly out of alignment, leading to visible doubling in the letters and numbers on the coin. Collectors have long hunted for these errors, and coins with strong doubling can fetch substantial premiums, sometimes hundreds or even thousands of dollars, depending on the clarity and rarity of the error. Even minor doubling can significantly increase a coin's value when certified and authenticated. Another error type to watch for in the 197D series includes off-center strikes, which occur when the plancha is not properly aligned during striking, and B errors, where a small die break between the B and E in Liberty resembles the appearance of the letter I. These quirky die breaks are popular among Lincoln cent specialists and can command a premium. Collector interest in the 197D penny remains high because it's an important part of any Lincoln cent day 10 mint set. Completing a collection with all the mint marks from each year is a common goal, and the 197 to DU, especially in higher grades or with a known error, is a must-have. Coin albums from brands like Whitman or Dansko usually include a dedicated slot for this specific coin, further encouraging demand. So while the 1970 to D penny might not be rare by mintage, its value lies in condition, errors, and its essential role in the collector's journey. It's a coin that rewards attention to detail and offers surprises to those willing to look closely. Both the 1963D and 197 to D Lincoln pennies are proof that even the most ordinary seeming coins can have extraordinary stories. Whether you're checking your change jar or building a serious collection, keep an eye out for these historic 1-cent pieces. They might just be more valuable than you think.